Hey guys, I hope you had a great summer. I hope you practice eating healthy and making healthy choices. I know we've spent a lot of years talking about my plate and eating healthy, and hopefully you've learned some new information about the importance of nutrition. This year we'll go into further depth and continue talking about nutrition topics, focusing on my plate and my plate food groups. Today we're going to start off with a fun experiment. This experiment includes two things. One, money, and maybe fire. Hopefully I have your attention. Let's try this experiment and I'll explain to you how to do it after. So of course for this experiment, we'll be relating it back to eating healthy and nutrition. So while we're doing this experiment, try to think about how my plate food groups and eating healthy can protect your body against sickness and illness. So I have two $100 bills, like you can see, and one I have soaked in a solution, and one I have that is just a dry paper dollar. So if I was to add fire to these dollar bills, what do you think would happen? Probably they would burn, right? Now think with your bodies that when sickness is prevalent or it's near or around you and there are germs and sicknesses, what happens to your body? Sometimes you get sick, sometimes you don't. But is there a way that you can protect your body and keep it from getting sick? Let's find out with this experiment. So let's pretend that this body or this dollar does not eat my plate foods. Okay? It's just eating normal foods, maybe eating Cheetos and soda for lunch, maybe a Pop-Tart for breakfast. Nothing healthy is going into this body. What do you think will happen when the sickness comes? Any surprise? It's burning, right? It does not have the resistance to fight off the sickness or fight the illness from coming. Still burning. Good. Now let's take our next dollar that I have soaked in my solution. Now let's pretend that this body or dollar has been eating my plate food groups. What's going to happen when I add sickness and illness? Let's find out. It's still being impacted, right? But it did not burn up. Something interesting to think about, right? Still good as new. Now, let me explain to you how you can do this at home. For this experiment, you'll need two things. Isopropyl alcohol. This is a 91% isopropyl alcohol, but 70% will work well also. The other thing, water. This can come from a tap, a sink, bottled water, it does not matter. So to create your immunity blend, you're going to need 3 tablespoons of isopropyl alcohol. You will simply pour this into the bowl and mix it with your water. We only need 1 tablespoon of water. Next, we'll soak our piece of paper. I just have a Post-it for this example. So just a scrap piece of paper works great. You want your paper to get nice and saturated. If it isn't saturated enough, the paper or dollar will burn. So a few seconds really is all it takes. 15, 20, maybe 30 seconds. Okay, and then you remove it from your solution. You want to move your bowl out of the way because it is also very flammable. Okay, and then next you just light your soaked piece of paper with your lighter. You'll quickly see your paper catch fire and go out. Hopefully this experiment helped you to see how important it is to eat nutritious foods. Now, nutritious choices can be made every day for breakfast, lunch, for dinner, for snacks, for the things you drink. They start with simple little choices, and habits that you start now will continue throughout your lifetime. It'll impact your health, your ability to be immune from sickness, prevent you from diseases, and keep a healthy weight throughout your lifetime. Making healthy choices now does seem very simple and easy, and sometimes it doesn't grab your attention because it seems like such a simple choice. But really, it can impact you for a long time and impact the way your family and friends eat as well. You can be a good example to those around you by simply making a healthier choice. Now, as we've talked about MyPlate over the past several years, you've learned about each one of these food groups. Do you remember what their job is for your body? A long time ago, we talked about cars and how cars need specific things to function, right? They need fuel, they need oil, they need air in the tires, they need water, all types of things for this car to function properly. Now, these jobs cannot substitute for one another. If you were to run out of air in your tire on the way to a trip, you can't take fuel from the gas tank and put it in your tire. Obviously, that's common sense. Well, the same thing goes for these MyPlate food groups. Each one of these foods does a special specific job for your bodies. Not only do these foods provide specific jobs for your bodies, but they also are done in correct portion sizes. We've talked about moderation a lot over the past years. Too much of anything is not good for your body. Eating too much fruit and vegetables, you get diarrhea, right? Your body talks to you and tells you when it's had too much of something or not enough of another. The MyPlate portion control is designed to help you imagine how your plate should look. Now, sometimes you're gonna have foods that are stacked on one another, like a hamburger or pizza, for instance. There's going to be layers of food rather than separated throughout your plate. But this is a good mental image of what your plate should look like and how much of what you should be eating at each meal. Remember, half of your plate, the goal is to be fruits and vegetables. Do you remember why? Fruits and vegetables impact our bodies so much. They are filled with vitamins that help your body be strong and healthy and, like our dollar bill, be prevented from burning or getting sick. There is sickness and germs all around us. Sometimes you're going to get sick even if you are eating healthy. But if your body is fueled and has the minerals and the vitamins it needs to combat that sickness, you will get sick less often and stay sick for a shorter duration versus someone who is not making healthy choices. I have pictures of vitamins with me. Remember when we talked about vitamins and the impact they make on our bodies? I have vitamin A. Now from this picture, I'm sure you remember that vitamin A impacts our eyes. Vitamin A can be found in carrots and kale and spinach, cantaloupe, apricots, pumpkin, broccoli, asparagus. There is vitamin A in a lot of fruits and vegetables. You'll notice a lot of green and a lot of orange here. Now, eating vitamin A impacts your eyes and the rest of your body. Each of these vitamins works together to create a healthy, strong body. Functioning eyes are great to see, to adjust in the dark. It's very important that you're getting adequate vitamin A. Now, if you're not eating fruits and vegetables from MyPlate or in the proper portion, are you getting these benefits? Of course not. Now, there are some foods that are fortified with vitamins. That means vitamins are added into them. Now, this is great to get some vitamin A, but it is not in its natural form. The best way for our bodies to absorb the most vitamin A is to eat them in their natural form. And that comes from, well, fruits and vegetables. Now, question, if you eat 1 carrot a week, will that give you enough vitamin A? Obviously not. Now, you need to be eating our adequate amounts of fruits and vegetables. And instead of remembering numbers and portions and measurements, it's simple. Just imagine half of your plate as fruits or vegetables. If you're having dinner and maybe peas are the vegetable for the day, and you don't have fruit, then fill half of your plate with peas and have a snack with a fruit later on. You really want to be trying to get each of these food groups into your daily diet. How about vitamin K? Vitamin K, if you remember, impacts our blood health. This is so crucial for blood clotting. Too much blood clotting can lead to strokes and death in some instances, and not enough, just as bad as an outcome. So eating vitamin K in asparagus, mustard green, Brussels sprouts, cucumbers, kale, cauliflower, spinach, lots of these green vegetables. Now question, do you remember, is darker green or lighter green better for you? Now they're both good for you, but the darker the green, the more vitamins it contains. So if you have a choice between spinach or iceberg lettuce, spinach is going to have a lot more vitamin K, along with vitamin A, vitamin C, and many other beneficial nutrients. So vitamin K comes from, you guessed it again, the vegetable group. Eating fruits and vegetables are so important, I cannot stress it enough. We also get vitamins from, you remember? D for dairy. Our dairy food group also provides our bodies with nutrients and vitamins that we cannot get in other places. We can get them from cheese and milk and yogurt and orange juice, even salmon. So we see a food from our protein group. One awesome thing about vitamin D is you can get vitamin D from sunlight. Now, vitamin D can come to us from the sun and our body's ability to turn it into usable nutrients for our body. So going outside, exercising, see everything, eating healthy, exercising, it all is one big cycle. Going outside, getting fresh air and the sunshine can help your body to absorb vitamin D, along with drinking milk, eating yogurt, eating cheese, even once in a while, ice cream. So we see the benefits of fruits and vegetables and our dairy group. Now remember, each of these groups does a specific job for our bodies, just like the car. How about vitamin B? Do you remember vitamin B? This picture is a little tricky. Vitamin B's job for the body is to turn food into energy. Now, without energy, we don't have, power or energy to walk, run, exercise, practice sports, dance, gymnastics, recess, PE, everything. Our body needs energy, and vitamin B makes us capable of using that energy. If you can imagine what it might be like, what is the deficiency of not having enough vitamin B? Simple, right? No energy. And each of these vitamins has an important job that it does for our body, and without it, our body will tell us. Just like diarrhea with too much fruits and vegetables, not enough vitamins will also tell our bodies, we need something. This is not working, I need some help. So we will talk in our later lessons about deficiencies, see some crazy pictures, and realize the importance of vitamins even more crucially in our diet. Another example is vitamin E. Vitamin E can be found in nuts and seeds, spinach, avocado, olive oil. Lots of these things impact our heart health. Now, obviously, we know our heart is so important for our body's health. Without it, we're not living. Taking care of our heart can be as easy as making healthy choices. Eating whole grains, our next food group, is another way we can keep our heart healthy. We can also provide our body with fiber so we stay regular, don't get constipated, and keep our insides cleaned out. If you think of a water slide, this is the analogy I like to think of when I think of fiber. So if you think of a water slide that spins, twists, and turns, not like the Kanab water slide that's always broken down, but a water slide maybe at a water park up north or a different place you may have visited. Now, those water slides can get gross, right? The nooks and crannies and turns can start to harbor bacteria, germs, and, gross things. So, fiber is similar to you going down the slide. So if you have a water slide that just sits, it's going to harbor more bacteria and more germs because nothing's going down to clean it. Now, if you have a water slide that constantly has water running through it, and then we add kids going down, it works like a sponge to clean the walls of the slide. This is similar to fiber. When we eat fiber, there is insoluble and soluble fiber, and we will talk about this with our grain lesson. But as we eat fiber, it goes through our bodies and it doesn't, or to somewhat degree, doesn't digest, which means it comes in one end and comes out the other. So it goes through your intestine or your water slide and it cleans the nooks and crannies and gets all of the germs, bacteria, and harboring things that are waiting in there. It keeps you regular and prevents certain types of cancers from developing in your body. Like I said, fiber is so important for your body, both now and in the long term. So again, grains, another food group that is so beneficial for our bodies and cannot be found in other places. Fiber can be found in some degree in fruits and vegetables also. So we see again that foods start to work together. Having enough of each food group makes the cycle continue and helps your body to have the nutrients it needs to grow in all aspects of your life. The last example of a vitamin I have for you today is vitamin C. We've talked about vitamin C healing wounds and preventing sicknesses and illness. We can see a vast variety of fruits and vegetables here, specifically citrus fruits like oranges and berries and kiwis. Vitamin C is so important, especially this time of year when sickness is starting to become prevalent. Eating vitamin C can protect your body from getting sick, and when it does get sick, get better faster. Bruises, cuts, wounds, they also heal better with, you guessed it, vitamin C. Vitamin C is another crucial vitamin that we get. Now, if you remember a year or two ago when we talked about vitamin C, we talked about pirates and how they would get the disease called scurvy. Gross, right? Teeth start to bleed, gums start to get rid of teeth. It's a bad thing that happens when we don't have enough vitamin C. And those pirates on the ships long ago, they didn't have any intake of vitamin C. This helps us to see how crucial it is for our bodies. We can get it in some ways, fortified into foods, but remember the most natural form is healthiest for our bodies. One rule of thumb, if you want to eat healthy, try to eat natural. Try to avoid processed foods. Foods might start out well as protein. Let's say, for instance, bacon. Bacon comes from a pig. Protein, right? But when we take bacon and we process it, it becomes so processed that the bad outweighs the good and it becomes extra food or does not fit into the MyPlate standards. A lot of processed foods are this way. There's a lot of sugar and salt and grease that are added into it, which tastes good, but it does not give our body the nutrients it needs to have all of these benefits like we talked about. Try your best this month to eat healthy. Simple swaps can make all the difference. Instead of grabbing a bag of chips for snack, maybe make some popcorn. Maybe instead of drinking a can of soda, drink some orange juice. You can still have delicious foods and just make healthier choices. Small, simple swaps can make all the difference. Let's practice eating healthy by making a recipe. This recipe can be done at home with your friends or with your family. It's simple and it provides all the foods from MyPlate. Maybe you can try to come up with your own concoction, your own version of this snack recipe. Hopefully these are things you have around your house already that will be easy to combine into a tasty, healthy, nutritious snack. Followed by our snack, we'll be doing a fun activity outside. I know how important it is to get your body exercise and moving. So we'll go outside and we'll learn a fun activity to do with the PE teacher. So let's go to our snack. Today we're going to be making a MyPlate approved snack. These are called MyPlate stackers. They're similar to Lunchables if you've had those before. We will use all 5 food groups today. Our first dairy group will use cheese, and you can use any cheese you have around the house. Next we'll use a vegetable, and today I have spinach and cucumbers, but you can use any type of vegetables here. You could use tomatoes, you could use thinly sliced carrots, you could use lettuce, really anything would work here. For our protein, we'll be using meat. I have ham and turkey today, and you can use any kind, again, you have around the house. Another option you could use, thinly cracked nuts. You could even use peanut butter or almond butter. You really can be as creative as you'd like to be. For our fruit, we're going to be using grapes, and I'm just doing this off to the side, but you could be creative and use fruit into your mixture. Really, the possibilities are endless. For our grain today, we're going to be using crackers. I brought 2 crackers with me today, and I'll be using these weavable baked wheat crackers. Now, the crackers I brought with me are made of whole grain, and remember, we can see whole grain by looking on the back at the ingredients. If the first ingredient says whole grain or whole wheat, you know that you've chosen a good cracker. All crackers will work. You could even try bread here or tortillas. Really, the possibilities are endless. I'm gonna start today with 2 crackers on my plate. And we'll start stacking our stackers. I have cheese here, and I have this Colby Jack cheese, but cheddar's another really good one, or Swiss cheese. Remember in our dairy lesson last year, we tried lots of different cheeses, so maybe you can be creative. Next, I'm going to pick a vegetable. I have cucumbers and I have spinach. I'm going to choose cucumbers today. I could even do both, I guess, if I was feeling really healthy. My cucumbers, I'm gonna slice in really, really thin slices. You don't want too thick of a piece of cucumber or vegetable. Tomatoes, again, you could slice thinly. You could also use carrots. Really, anything you want, slice them really thinly. And then I'm going to choose, let's do turkey today. You can buy these thin packages of lunch meat at the store. They're really inexpensive, less than $1 for a whole package. So I'll take out one piece and I'll fold it into 4 pieces to fit nicely on my cracker. Just like that. And then a handful of grapes to go on the side. Maybe. All right, and again, you can do any type of fruit here. A thin slice of orange wedge would give this a lot of taste if you wanted to try that on your stacker. All right, and then you eat. Simple enough. All 5 of our food groups on this plate. This is a great snack you can make after school when you're hungry. You could also take this and make it in your lunch for school. There's so many ways that you can make this work and make it so flavorful. Try this at home with your families. Practice eating healthy. We'll do a healthy exercise and then we'll be done for the day. Today for our outdoor activity, we'll be playing a game called Dynamite. Maybe you've played this game before. After we finish our lesson, you'll head outside with the PE teacher and you'll form 3 to 4 groups. The PE teacher will separate you. You will lay in a line in each group. The first person is the wick, and the wick continues until the last person in the group. That person is the dynamite. How you begin, each person begins by holding a plank or a push-up position. This can be done on your elbows or on your arms. Really think about keeping your shoulders over your wrists or shoulders over your elbows. You want a nice straight line. Think about keeping your pelvis tucked and your back straight and solid. For a modified version, you can go on your knees to prevent less pressure from your arms and your abs. Each person will lay in this plank position until it is their turn. We begin with the first wick. That person flips to their back, does 10 sit-ups, and goes back to their plank position. When they finish their sit-ups, the next person begins. Each person does their 10 sit-ups. When it gets to the dynamite player, that dynamite player does a burpee and goes to the end of the line and continues. Once every person has had a chance to be the dynamite, the game is over and that team is the winner. Good luck, and I will see you next month. Goodbye.